Well, no fancy phone recording today, it's just straight on the action camera. Looks like it might rain, but it's either wet or miserably hot, so I'll stick a jumper on and take my chances with the rain. Alright, let's see if we can park it here for now. Alright, this has always been my favourite pit stop coming down this track. You know, it's nice and quiet, it's on a bit of a sharp bend, so you can kind of see what's coming both ways. I just want to have a talk about the bike and how it's going. I didn't cover it this morning because a lot of my videos are starting to look the same, but I lost, as I say, the needle in the carb, and the needle I replaced it with, it just, I don't know whether it was damaged or bent or what. It had been sitting in a spare parts bag for a while and it looked a bit out of shape, so I found another one. Now, the needles I'm using are out of the NT Speed carbs, and that is a bog stock NT. And I've covered a video on this as well. Not all NT carbs are created equal. So there is a chance that the needle I'm using might be a bit too long or it doesn't fit properly. Look, that might be the case, but all I can say is the bike today is running really well. I had to tighten a few things. The tensioner wheel there, always have to check that. After the first ride, the rag joint bolts were a little bit loose, so I had to nip them up once, but so far they seem to be holding their tension. Because this is the first time I've used a single rag joint, I'm not sure how reliable that's going to be. Hopefully it just doesn't bend the crap out of my spokes, because that will just pee me off, to be honest. The motor sounds like it's running great. It's not bogging like it was, and I think that is because I changed the needle in the carb. Now, I know this camera is not great for close-up shots, but that is actually an automotive, like a car fuel filter. And I was a little bit worried that, you know, it wouldn't be suitable for some reason. I thought, you know, they're designed for pressurized fuel lines over gravity fed, so I thought maybe the fuel isn't pulling down as fast as it needs to. But these carbies don't drink much fuel at all, and the size of this filter, it acts like a mini reserve tank. So even in some mystery world where, you know, unicorns don't fly, my engine needs to use more fuel than can actually be fed down from the top, it'll suck through the little reserve there. I haven't felt like the engine's been starved for fuel, and you can clearly see that there's fuel in the bottom line there. That's the thing, just because this bit's filled up doesn't mean it's making it down to the inside. But there's no air bubbles happening in there. I have noticed that my little bearings aren't even connecting. So I'm a little concerned about that. But I've been given a link to a proper engine mount for frames like this, which I may put in an order for in the new year, just to be on the safe side, especially if that looks like it's not holding up. Now, the front hub, it's not quite as efficient or fast as it is without the engine, and that's because it has to work for the extra chain tension in the two-stroke. Even with the clutch pulled in, there is still that extra resistance, and you'll notice that just pedaling a bike with that chain, the engine drive chain removed, you'll notice it's a lot harder to pedal when you're running this two-stroke setup. And that's all it is. It's a little bit of extra resistance. The engine has to work a little bit harder. But when they're working together, the acceleration is, look, I'm not going to say it's blistering, I'm not going to say it's super fast, but it is noticeable and it is a lot of fun. So I plan to head up into the mountains today. It's not too windy. Probably got a rain, but I have got a big thick jumper on. The main reason I like going into the mountains is that there's less likely to get pulled over. Most of the people going up there are getting up to no good anyway, and by no good I mean, you know, doing a little bit of rallying or off-roading, or I don't know. You don't go up into the mountains to run into people, that's for sure. I was talking about, you know, the bike being harder to pedal, but I will say it's a testimony to the quality of this bike. Even with all this weight on, it's still really, really easy to pedal. I mean, yes, okay, I'm going down a small incline right now, so that does help, but some of the other bikes, you're pedaling basically just for show, and to actually get anywhere it's a little bit tricky. Now we're going a bit uphill and it's getting really heavy, but that's just because I'm unfit. But I can still easily start on a hill now, so I can just start up on the electric motor, drop the clutch, and off we go. So I'm going to assume the camera can hear me right now. I know I've tried to talk over the motor in the past and it hasn't worked out too well. I won't know if you could hear that until after I get the video back, of course. I don't have mirrors on this bike. That was one of the big delays on getting this project done. I had ordered really, really nice looking bar end mirror, not bar end mirror, handlebar mounted mirror. You know, big arm like this, diamond tip shape. Anyway, it came, and I'll pop a picture up of what actually came versus what they were advertising. Yes, it came from Wish. Don't ever anybody try and recommend Wish to me again. Two things. The mirror that came, it was like doll's house plastic. You know, it's mildly reflective, but it's not glass. It's not a mirror. It's just a shiny piece of chrome coloured plastic. And it wasn't even a handlebar mount. It was a bar end mirror. Luckily, I got my money back for that. But geez, I was pissed. So I went into my local bike shop and they've got really good quality bar end mirrors, but because of the leather handlebars here, I really need one that mounts to the bar. But yeah, the local bike shop didn't have any that I needed and won't have probably till the new year. Yeah, I can order them online, but by the time it comes in the mail, the bike shop will have it in stock anyway. Because the bloke told me, you know, you can get them in, but they won't be until the new year. So I rather just wait, but I do prefer riding with the mirror on. You know, these engines are fairly quiet, and most of the time you can hear traffic coming. But especially on like windy days, you know, it's just peace of mind. I like knowing if there's something coming so I can move over in plenty of time. So yeah, obviously I decided to go ahead with the build anyway, and we'll try and get something sorted in the future. I probably won't go on any really long distance rides until until I get that mirror sorted. I don't like riding along the roads unless I have to, as I say, so I can see. The roads along here, they're not particularly safe for cyclists. There's not a huge shoulder, and it's normally overgrown where there is one. I'm not sure that clutch should be making that noise, but it doesn't feel like there's anything going wrong. Oh dear. All right. Right, so we're going to take a break here for now. I still feel like that engine's not performing as well as it could be. Which again, I think that's down to using a different needle and a carb. So before I take it out next time, I'm going to take the carby off the Mark III, which is the bike that has my PVC boost bottle and custom plumbed manifold. So I'm not going to throw the boost bottle straight on. I just want to see if changing the carby will, sort out that bogging. The engine picks up all right, and it does really well in the mid-range. However, it doesn't feel as good as it should be. And again, that might be down to just using bad fuel. So that hill we came up is the one that has been the proving point for all of my bikes. It's bloody steep. And I don't know if this camera will even pick it up, but not a chance. We're basically looking out over most of the valley here, so we are pretty high up. But down this road that sort of goes around heads us into the mountains, which we're backing onto now. I've had a few drops of rain, but nothing to write home about. And the bike feels great, apart from the low-end bogging. Maybe I've just been getting too used to how it feels with the electric throttle on. It's really hard to define just how much of a difference it is. You can hear the engine pick up. I know that a lot of these engines are that responsive normally, and that this one's not perhaps running as well as it should. But the difference is phenomenal.